Have you been struggling in solo queue? Do you want to make plays like this? Or this? Or even this? Well, stick around because today I'm going to be discussing my 5 tips to carry solo queue with Zeraora Jungle. Welcome back, Kuma Corporation. For those of you who are new here, my name is Bubs, and today I'll be discussing my 5 tips for Zeraora. Now, let's talk briefly about Zeraora. Zeraora's basic attacks. Every third auto attack will heal Zeraora, dealing increased damage and paralyzing opposing Pokemon. The passive ability is Volt Absorb. The more damage you take, the more damage you inflict. Early game abilities. The R ability is Agility, a dash that increases attack speed for a brief duration, just about 4 seconds, that can also move through walls. The ZR ability Slash is a 3-strike targeted ability with a 3rd strike knocking you up in a cone shape. Keep in mind the move can also be used as a gap close. Late game R abilities at level 6 include Volt Switch, which allows you to jump to a targeted location, increasing your attack speed. You can also reactivate the ability to return to the original cast point. Also note that the switch does damage upon arrival and return to enemies struck. The other move is Spark, which gives you 3 leaps which deals damage. However, you can also auto attack before reaching the target destination, which will cause Zeraora to leap to the next closest opposing Pokemon. Both of these moves are good and are situational depending on the enemy team composition. I, however, prefer to use Volt Switch as it suits my playstyle. You can try out both to see which one suits you more. Late game ZR abilities at level 8 include Discharge, which upon activation will release an AoE electric field that does damage per tick, with the 7th pulling enemies in. Wild Charge, a dash in a targeted direction, will allow Zeraora to unleash a combo attack that also inflicts damage to Zeraora. Keep in mind with Wild Charge, the higher your passive is ticked, the more attacks the actual Wild Charge will do. Again, both of these moves are viable, but I find that Discharge is the better option in almost every scenario. Sorry that the audio for this clip sounds a little bit different, I forgot to record it, but Zeraora's Unite move is Plasma Gale. It unleashes a blast of lightning at a single target, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and throwing them. This also creates a zone of plasma that increases Zeraora's basic attack range and damage dealt while Zeraora is inside the zone. I do also want to mention my item loadout that I personally use to get to Master, which is Floatstone, Scope Lens, Muscle Band, and for the active item, Fluffy Tail. And for those of you wondering and confused about Fluffy Tail, yes, Fluffy Tail works on large mobs too, i.e. Dreadnought, Rotom, and Zapdos. So now let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, know how to jungle clear. One of the benefits of Zeraora Jungle is understanding that with the proper techniques, regardless of your item loadout, can allow you to path for a top gank or bottom gank first, regardless of what direction the Lillipup travels. By utilizing Fluffy Tail and Slash immediately over the wall, you're able to make it to either your top or bottom buff before they spawn. This is important because by making sure you are initiating your clear on the mob spawn, you can optimize your clear speed overall. My second tip here is that with Zeraora, if you time your clear correctly and utilize Fluffy Tail effectively, you can actually cut travel time by dashing over this wall here. Overall, your first jungle clear should finish at roughly 9 minutes and 14 seconds to 9 minutes and 15 second mark, depending on your luck with critical hits. Tip number 2, know how to gank. Before you decide to walk into the lane, always make sure to hide in a brush that the enemy has not seen you enter. When approaching bottom side, for example, enemies will be granted vision before you even enter the brush here. That's why before you hit level 8, it's not a bad idea to dash into bush from fog of war and proceed to close the gap with Slash to secure a knockup. Tip number 3, objective control. Know your timings. For instance, Dreadnought and Rotom will spawn at 7 minutes. Dreadnought is an instant spawn, whereas Rotom has a descent animation. Therefore, Dreadnought will actually be targetable earlier than Rotom. And just in general, Dreadnought is a better objective overall. That's just my opinion, and the opinion of many other players in Master. By understanding spawn timings for objectives, you'll be able to ensure that you're present and accounted for objective team fights. However, being present doesn't always mean you'll be securing the objective. In this scenario here, Dreadnought was spawned, but instead of starting Dreadnought, because I was low HP and had just killed enemy jungler, I took the time to retreat, farm for XP, and return to lane for another gank. I noticed that enemy jungler rotated topside, so Dreadnought was free to take. The point is this: objective control is very situational, but the main idea is to keep a close eye on the minimap and be in the surrounding area when you need to be. With Zeraora, I like to initiate Dreadnought with an auto attack, bolt switch out to dodge the knockup, and switch back in with a fluffy tail followed by discharge. I also make sure to position myself around the Dreadnought to avoid the Hydro Pump. Tip number 4. Know when to rotate. A vital role for any player, not just jungle, is knowing when to rotate and where to rotate. After securing an objective, your role as a jungler, as stated previously, is to secure objectives. In this game, I noticed after taking Dreadnought, the enemy jungler was still topside, so I decided to invade his jungle and clear his camps. Counter jungling, while very dangerous in this game, is extremely rewarding for the player and extremely debilitating for the opponent. Keep in mind, with Rotom up, my job should have been to be present to secure Rotom. However, I trusted my team to be able to secure it without my help. How do I know this though? By simply monitoring HP bars at the top of the screen. The layout of the game may seem simple at first, but in reality, the game offers a lot of information with just a quick glance. Don't forget, just because you lose a Dreadnought or a Rotom, it isn't game over until the timer runs out. My last tip, tip number 5, is ulti timing and ulti predictions. This tip may be a bit difficult for new players, but the premise is simple. Before you decide to use your ulti, make sure that you will have it off cooldown for a major upcoming fight. Do not just use your ulti to solo kill a player. Ultimate moves are best utilized in this game as a way to secure objectives or a way to multi-kill your opponents. Without taking any neutral mobs, your ulti will recharge at a 1% per 1 second, so it's important to make sure that you have your ulti for the final Zapdos teamfight. Now with ulti predictions, it gets a bit trickier. Zeraora's ultimate move is a single target lock-on with AoE radius upon arrival to its intended target. As this is the case, it's important to initiate the ultimate when you see your enemies group up together. As discussed previously, Zeraora's ultimate increases damage within the Gale with plenty of CC to boot, so use it wisely. And that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, let me know if this helped you in the comment section down below. There's a lot more about the game I can say, but it might not be suitable for a single video. If there is a specific video you want me to make, you can let me know here in the comment section, or tweet me at BubberooTV, or chat with me about it live on Twitch. I stream typically every day until August the 23rd when I start my biomedical science program, so I hope to see you then. All of you trainers out there, good luck on Aeos Island.